The Japanese officer stuffed a cloth in my mouth, then tied my limbs with rope. After that, he dragged my wife into the room and violated her brutally. Watching this, my heart shattered. A minute later, the officer walked out and even threatened my student to go in too. The student resisted fiercely, so the Japanese officer pulled out a pistol right away and pointed it at him. With no choice, the student reluctantly rushed into the room. I shed tears of despair. Even the officer's lackey mocked me nearby. 2 minutes later, the student stumbled out, and the lackey immediately hurried into the room. Soon, he came out too. With the Japanese officer's permission, they finally let my wife go. My wife walked out slowly, gave me a hopeless glance, then jumped off the building resolutely. I almost broke down, struggled free of the ropes, and ran downstairs quickly, but it was all too late. My wife had stopped breathing as I was drowning in regret. The Japanese officer still made sarcastic remarks. This completely enraged me. I tried to memorize their faces, swearing to take revenge. So I found a friend, asked him to buy some steel nails, and embedded them in a wooden board. Then I used ink to draw a fake manhole cover on paper. That night, we secretly swapped the real cover with the fake one and sprinkled sand on top. It looked completely flawless. When the lackey was patrolling, he stepped on the cover with 1 foot. Then we put the real cover back, pretending nothing had happened. Next was the Japanese officer. I guessed he'd come to gloat on the day of my wife's burial, so I played along. Intentionally had my friends shoot at him. The Japanese officer stood up and chased after him at once, all the way to the roof. But he never expected. The roof had been greased in advance. He slipped and fell right off the roof. And this spot was where the Japanese soldiers kept their military dogs. It hadn't been fed for 3 days. Now only one person was left. The student, still unrepentant, trying to catch evidence of my anti-war activities. I lured him to the building, where my wife had jumped. He still thought he was about to get a promotion. Just then, the door behind him opened slowly. He raised his gun in fear, facing the door, and the pale-faced woman walked out. The student was terrified out of his wits. I fell off the building on the spot, dying the same way my wife did. This was all part of my plan. Days earlier, we'd torn down the wall and covered it with foam boards. That's why the panicked student didn't notice and fell. With that, all my revenge was done.
Michelle Pfeiffer was literally vacuum sealed into her Catwoman suit for Batman Returns. They powdered her up, zipped her in, vacuumed out all the air, then sprayed the suit with silicone to get that glossy look. It was so tight she could barely breathe or move, and sometimes wore it for 12 to 14 hours a day. Even her mask would press painfully into her face. And to pull off the stunts safely, her stunt double wore boots with collapsible heels to avoid injury.